going to talk you through the things that we'll be doing during summer 2 term. Firstly, in English, we're concentrating on just one book this half term, and we'll be looking at a book called Lost and Found. Okay, and from that we're going to be hopefully writing a postcard, which will include using informal language. The children have used formal language before, and we've talked about informal language, so I'm sure that they'll be quite good at thinking about what informal language is. But if you can help them and just go through what types of things are informal, such as how do you do would be obviously formal, and hi there would be informal language, and just go through a little bit with that, that would be great. We're also going to be thinking about direct speech again. We've done this already again this year, but it's always good to practice direct and indirect speech, because it's something that some children do sometimes struggle with. So using those inverted commas, and we'll do that by doing some drama first. And we'll recreate a part of the story, Lost and Found. Then we'll think about the speech that the two characters may have had between them, because there's not a lot of speech or talk about what they would have said in the story. So the children are going to think about what did those two characters say, then they're going to convert that into some direct speech, and then we're going to do some drama. And then narrative story writing, that's again based on that story, but what they're going to do is they're going to do just an alternative ending to the story. So the children will be able to talk you through what the story's about by now, because both classes have had the story read to them. It might be nice if perhaps you could discuss, now that the two characters have met again at the end of the story, what next adventure could they have together? And maybe you could generate a few ideas with your children. Thank you. So for maths, we're going to do properties of shape, looking at 2D just to recap, and 3D shapes. We'll be looking at how many vertices each shape has, how many sides the shapes have, talking about what angles there are within shapes. We'll look at parallel and perpendicular lines as well this half term, so they'll understand what that means, and they'll understand what different types of angles you can have. So I don't know whether maybe you want to look at different types of angles with them, so that we're covering the right angle, the obtuse and the acute, so they've got that little bit of info before that they begin this topic. And we're also going to be looking at mass and capacity. So how much does certain things weigh? You might want to look at the scales on certain things, like weigh-in scales within your kitchen, perhaps if you've got any. Set of scales in a supermarket where you can actually weigh you or your luggage. And just look at the scales on your different types of weighing machines, and we will be looking at how heavy things are. And then for capacity, we'll be looking at the volume of certain things and trying to see what the differences are. We'll be comparing the capacity and the volume of certain things. So if you wanted to look at, again, say different items in your food shopping, or as you're going around the supermarket, and just look for the volume of things on different containers, just so that they get a feel for what volume it is, and like the size of a particular container against the volume of what that is, then that would be great. And then finally, our topic this half term, it's called One Planet, Our World, and we'll be really focusing on the UK, counties within the UK rather than cities, sorry. We'll be looking at counties within the UK and how they're broken down. We'll also be looking at physical and human features within an area, and that will include looking at maps in order to do that, and how the keys help us to know whether something is physical or human. So you might want to just look at a map perhaps to see if you can find that particular thing where it tells you this is a physical feature or this is a human feature. And we'll also be comparing an area somewhere within the country to our very local area, and we'll be doing a little bit of field work where we come up with a key, and we'll look at how it compares to a different place and whether there's any similarities or differences. And finally, we'll be looking at compasses. So we'll be looking at cardinal points, your north, east, south and west, and your intercardinal points, so that's north, east, south, east, etc. So I don't know whether you can find a compass maybe online where you can have a look at all of those 8 points within a compass that we sometimes read. And then what we'll do is we'll look at a map and use those cardinal and intercardinal points and ask questions such as which feature is northeast of, and then obviously name a particular a different area or a place or a feature on the map. So we'll be doing lots of that this half term. So maybe again you can look at a map and see if you can pinpoint features on a map first and foremost, the key, and looking at those 4 figure grid references again and seeing maybe if you can even find an 8 figure grid reference as well. Okay, that's brilliant. Hope you get lots of information from this video and that it's enabling you to help your children. Thanks very much. Bye.